Hello there, Dr. Kara of KH Evolution, back with you again to talk about energy and personal healing and just taking responsibility for our own essence that we are projecting out into the world. Today, I pulled a card from what's called an oracle deck card reading, just to kind of get a sense of what would be helpful to share and talk about. And today, the card that came up first was this beautiful card, accepting what is. And then second one that came up was standing in our joy, soaring into joy. And finally, the third one is standing firm. So I am noble, brave, and strong. And so I want to talk with you a little more about these three cards and how they come together and what the message from these cards might mean for us today. And of course, take what resonates with you and then leave the rest, right? So you may have a completely different meaning, and I fully respect that and agree with you. So we want to be listening to that voice inside of ourselves for sure. And I've said that many times. And so ultimately, that is the message from me, Dr. Kara. And that is always trust your own self and your own instincts. So what does it mean to kind of accept what is? You know, I have an amazing brother, and one of his affirmations or statements that he says all the time is it is what it is. It is what it is. And kind of shrugs his shoulders, right? And so it's this idea of accepting what is happening, whether we like it or not. And I want to just kind of expand on that from an energetic standpoint, that whatever it is that we're feeling or thinking in a particular given moment is what we're projecting out into the world. We're projecting it out into our homes, to the family members that live with us. We are projecting it out into our communities and certainly out into humanity through the consciousness of all things, right? If we truly understand the concept of consciousness, it is this idea that that everything is connected and everything is contributing to a whole, and everyone is contributing to a whole. And that wholeness of you is creating a wholeness amongst all living things, all beings and objects, and that energy is creating a collective. And so when I drew this card this morning, accepting what is, it really spoke to me in terms of accepting what is does not mean accepting the suffering. It doesn't mean accepting that we will not be able to manifest, create, or have what we want. Accepting what is at this moment, I believe, is this idea of how do we find joy and presence in the acceptance of the moment that we're in, the moment or the season that we are experiencing. How do we look beyond the suffering in humanity right now, the tragedy that is happening, and connect into joy and gratitude, to be fully present. And I think this is the chore or the challenge that we're being presented with right now as we grow and expand. For those of you who don't know, I run a membership called Ascend, and the entire essence of this membership is supporting one another as a community in raising our frequency or raising our vibration of being the best version of ourselves that we can be, and finding happiness and joy in the process. And I think that's what the essence of these cards are this morning, is affirming that this is truly the best path that we can be on, is identifying with the small little things that we can connect to on even those worst moments or worst days where we are feeling so incredibly challenged, whether it be from a health issue or from certainly a mental health issue. We have so much heaviness and density that is coming up in the world today, so that it can be transmuted. And if we lose sight of the goal of the transmutation process, it can be really easy to get swallowed up, to get suffocated, or to feel like our only option is to surrender into the negativity or the difficult stuff. And I don't believe that that's what the message is in this card of accepting what is. I think the message is the opposite. I think the message is to accept the goodness in the world, to accept the beauty in the simplicity of the things that are going on around us, and to accept that you at the core of your being are good, that you are light, and that you are love. And I think that is the ultimate message here. And that when we can stand firm in that belief and that knowing that we are good and that we are love, then it gives us the edge of being able to project out into our families and our communities the goodness, that unconditional love, that joy, the play, all of those elements get projected out instead of more worry and hatred and grief and disillusion and lack of understanding of how can all of this low vibe stuff be happening around us. If we can disconnect from that for just a moment and intentionally connect to something good that is happening, to something that we treasure, even if it's a memory that we might have, this will expand our frequency, expand our vibration, and ultimately trickle out into the collective, trickle out into the rest of humanity. And just like that pebble that falls into the pond, or that gets thrown into the pond and disrupts the surface of the water of the pond itself, that vibrational frequency is felt and experienced and perceived by every element within that ecosystem. And so I just want to give you this message and this pearl today, that everything that you are thinking and feeling and being in any given moment is being projected out into the collective, just like that frequency or that vibration of what is released as the pebble hits the surface of the pond. So let's accept that what we project out is in fact real, and let's take personal responsibility to project that out.